Welcome to Top Notch TV, a paragon of excellence. Today with you is Teacher Risper, a teacher from PCEA Kikuyu High School teaching English and literature, an examiner as well as an author. Today I'm going to discuss oral literature. In our previous episodes, I had already discussed among the examples of oral literature, and we were able to discuss the short forms as well as the narratives. In today's oral literature lesson, you're going to look at oral poetry, or in other words, we can call them songs. Oral poetry and songs, they are similar in that they have the same features, but however, there is a difference between them. What is the difference? The difference lies in the mode of performance. While oral poetry is performed through recitation, a song is performed through singing. The mode of performance draws the line between the two. And before I can go to the features of oral poetry, I'll be looking at how can we make a song interesting. A song can be made interesting in the following ways. One of the ways is that we incorporate the use of costumes. You go ahead and wear a costume, number one. Number two, we can also make a song interesting by incorporating body movements, or in other words, you can call it dancing. And also about a song, you accompany a song with a musical instrument, maybe a drum or maybe any other musical instrument. After that, I'll go ahead and ask, what are the features of oral poetry? Oral poetry is characterized by the following features. Number one, in oral poetry, we have something that we are calling conversational style. Conversational style. For you to identify conversational style, in oral poetry, you will see that the persona is usually addressing someone directly. They'll be talking to a you, someone that we shall simply call you within that oral poem. Apart from conversational style, we still have another feature of oral poetry, a feature that we shall be calling, it addresses an immediate situation. And when you're talking about addressing an immediate situation as another feature, we are talking about whenever it is an oral poem or a song, you can easily classify it into the different genre. For example, it can be a work song, it can be a love song. It is addressing an immediate situation. The situation might be initiation, the situation might be work, and so on and so forth. A third feature of oral poetry, we have another one that you're calling direct translation. Direct translation, if you could grammatically correct, therefore at times it makes use of direct translation. Number four, as my feature of oral poetry, we're going to talk about the aspect of repetition. Within repetition, we see that a message is enhanced. The fifth feature of oral poetry, we shall call it simplicity in structure. It has a simple structure, or a simple structure characterized by short lines. And as my number six, the last feature, I'll only discuss six, but there are other features of oral poetry that you can find in other publications. But as my number six, I'll be talking about it borrows examples from their immediate society. In borrowing an example from the immediate society, we can even be talking about what is the economic activity of these people. You'll be able to tell it from the oral poem. At the same time, you can even see the naming of the people. Therefore, you can attribute the oral poem to a very specific ethnicity or maybe a very specific society. That is it about oral poetry. And because oral poetry is very similar to songs, they only differ in their mode of performance, I'll go ahead and I'll be talking about types of songs. In the types of songs, maybe first of all, you can go ahead and merely mention which type of songs are we going to talk about. Number one, we're going to talk about a lullaby. Number two, we are going to talk about a love song. Number 3, a dirge or a funeral song. Number 4, we are going to talk about play songs. Number 5, wedding songs. And I will finish by talking about initiation or circumcision songs. On to my first one. My first one, I'll be calling it a lullaby. And by definition, a lullaby is a song that is sung to soothe a baby to sleep or to make the baby stop crying. Among the features of a lullaby I'll be talking about, it is mostly sung by a caregiver. A caregiver is that person who takes care of the baby, and most of the time, the person who takes care of the baby will be the ayah, the maid, or it can be the mother, or even an older sister. But at other times, we have still encountered some lullabies that are being sung by the father. You just check through the lines of your song and you're able to tell who is the persona who is singing that particular song. So number 1, you've said the feature of a lullaby, it will be sung to soothe a baby to sleep or to make them stop crying. Number 2, it will be sung by a caregiver. Number 3, there'll be mention of baby within that song. And then you're looking at number 4. Number 4, there is usually the promise of a reward if the baby complies. In case you want to talk about the baby needs to stop crying, when they stop crying, they'll be rewarded maybe even by being breastfed. Another feature of a lullaby we shall be looking at is some lullabies also incorporate threats. That when the baby refuses to do as they are being directed, what will happen? They're also given some threats that if you don't maybe take the big potato, I will give it to the ayah. If the ayah refuses, I'll give it to the sister. And so on. That is a threat that if the baby refuses to do as you're telling them, there will be some repercussions. Even at other times, babies are scared by the mentioning of some animals. I'll go to my second type of a song. The second type of a song, I'll be calling it a love song. And then within a love song, we need to see the following features that most of the time, it is sung towards the opposite sex. If it is a woman, she'll be singing towards a man. And if it is a man, the man will be singing for a woman. That is one among the characteristics of a love song. Another characteristic of a love song we're going to look at, it praises the beauty of the loved one. How beautiful that girl might be. It might be talking about how beautiful their eyes may be. And these love songs are usually sung as an expression of love. And if they are an expression of love, what kind of a tone are we expecting from our love song? We expect the song to be sung in a passionate tone. Even though it looks like everything is all positive about a love song, there are still some love songs that will express disappointment at being rejected. Someone will be singing a love song towards a loved one, maybe have given you everything, but you still saw it fit that you leave me to get married to another man. That is still a love song that expresses disappointment at being jilted by a loved one. The third type of a song, let's talk about dirges. Dirges, or they're also called funeral songs. Funeral songs are sung during the duration of a burial, and therefore you can still call them the burial songs. Number 1, they express sorrow at the loss of a loved one. People are expressing how sad they are, maybe because their father has died. Another thing about a dirge we are looking at, they express the shock at the leaving of the loved one to the world of the dead. They're expressing shock that it came as a shock that you left us to go to the world of the dead. And we also look at, they also praise the achievements of the departed when he was still alive. It can be talking about death. You're so cruel. You have robbed us of a great chief. That is an achievement of the person before they were dead. Still on adage, we see that they usually express a wish to afford peace to the departed soul. For example, and may your soul rest in peace. That becomes adage. Another feature of adage we look at, it encourages the bereaved to take heart and soldier on with life. The departed has already gone. Bereaved, and this bereaved need to be given some kind of hope that all will be okay, even though maybe the breadwinner has gone to rest. And what kind of a tone would we sing adage in? Adage will be sung in a sorrowful or a sad tone, and the mood surrounding adage will be a mood that you're calling sorrowful. People are crying, therefore the mood will be sorrowful. At the same time, the mood will be somber. A somber mood is what you're calling serious. You don't expect that during a funeral, during a burial, that people will be smiling, because there is nothing to smile about. In fact, there is a lot to be sad about. As we are moving on, we are looking at yet another category of songs, a song that we shall be calling play songs. And these play songs, they are also known as singing games. Singing games are usually sung by children. They're usually performed by children while they are playing. Look at the naming of the song, a singing game. Singing, and then there's the word game. On the other side, if you don't want to call it a singing game, go ahead and call it play song. But you see, there's the element of a game, there's the element of a play. Sung by children when they are outside playing. What are the features of these songs? The features of these songs include that they are characterized by a lot of repetition. When these children are at a young age, maybe let's talk about kindergarten, that age about 5 years, about 7 years, they learn from repetition. Therefore, you find that such songs have a lot of repetition. We have one performer, and then maybe the performer hands the baton next to the next performer. The next performer changes with minimal changes, performs the same. Therefore, we are saying element of repetition is evident. Apart from the element of repetition, there are some instances you see that a play song will sometimes not even make sense. It won't be making sense from the words that are uttered, but then the children, as they engage in these singing games, they tend to enjoy. Some play songs will be used for education purposes. For example, they'll be helping the children know how to do mathematics, for example, subtracting. An example is where we're talking about a song where there are two little ducks who went out to play. When the mother called them, only 9 ducks came back. And then the 9 ducks are sent out to play. When the mother calls them, only 8 come back, and so on and so forth. If a learner is able to follow through the song, we are learning the art of subtraction from such a song. And the mood surrounding a play song should be a relaxed mood. The children, they shouldn't be having any tension. They should be performing these songs to enjoy. Therefore, the mood surrounding a play song is the one that is a playful mood or even a relaxed mood. Moving on to the other type of a song, another type of a song that I shall be calling a wedding song. A wedding song will be sung during weddings, be it maybe a church wedding, even a traditional wedding, there will be the singing of a wedding song. And these wedding songs, among the characteristics include, they will be praising the beauty of the bride or even the handsomeness of the groom. For example, such a groom. Have you ever seen such a groom, such a handsome groom anywhere? Or a bride such as this one. Have you ever seen such a bride that is praising the beauty of either the bride or at other times the attractiveness of the groom? Away from that feature of praising their beauty, we are looking at another feature that we shall be saying they are mostly sung by the bridal or the groom parties. The people accompanying the groom, they'll be singing their own songs. The people accompanying the bride will as well be singing their own songs. And then for the girl, we can also find another feature whereby the girl is expressing the sorrow for leaving home. When you're getting married, it is not supposed to look like you are waiting for that moment to leave home, as if there was a problem within your homestead. Therefore, in some wedding songs, we shall see that the bride will be expressing sorrow at leaving their home. And another feature of wedding songs, we see that they usually prepare the bride for her newfound duty. For example, her new duty as a mother or her new duty as a wife. Another feature of wedding songs we shall talk about, they are sung in a joyful tone. And within that joy, there will always be the accompaniment of ululations. It is mostly among women that ululations can be performed. As they express their joy of the happiness, you will hear that the joy will be accompanied by ululations. At other times, we also see that a wedding song will at times mock the groom's family. They'll be mocking the groom's family, and it is for the purpose of entertainment. And before I can go to yet another type of a song, anytime you're looking at a song, not all the features will be present, but you need to see at least maybe 2 features, even 3 features. They can easily qualify that song into the correct category. Moving on, I shall be talking about initiation songs. And these initiation songs, we can sometimes call them circumcision songs. And not all communities partake in circumcision, but most of the communities within our African setup, they usually practice circumcision as a rite of passage. Therefore, we can comfortably refer to them as initiation songs. And when are these songs sung? These songs are usually sung by the initiates when they are preparing to undertake that rite of passage. Even if it means that maybe among some communities, maybe the initiation is killing a lion. It is no mean achievement. Initiation is no mean achievement. Therefore, these people will always have to be prepared for the task that is ahead. Therefore, it will be sung by the initiates to prepare them for the task at hand. Even if it is the removal of their teeth, it is still some painful kind of experience. Therefore, they still need that kind of preparation. What else should we see before we can conclude that a song is an initiation song? We're going to look at, they also educate the initiates on their new anticipated roles. These initiates are no longer children. Therefore, within that song, they're supposed to be prepared for the role that awaits them. And of a song, I shall be calling it a work song. A work song is usually sung by people as they undertake a duty, as they undertake a job. The work can be, for instance, it can be threshing of millet. It can still be cultivating. And whenever people are undertaking such a task, they accompany such with a song. And songs sung during work, they're supposed to give the idea of easing work. You know, when someone is singing, sometimes they don't even get to feel the intensity of the work that they are doing. And then within a work song, we also see it encourages virtues. It encourages virtues such as maybe cooperation, unity, hard work. Let me give some examples of lines that indicate it is a work song. You can be told a line such as, cut a threshing stick for me. And another one, they talk about A lazy woman is taken back to her people. Over here we see that within our work song, we are encouraging virtues of cooperation, cut a threshing stick for me. They're also encouraging other virtues such as hard work, because a lazy woman will be taken back to her people. Within the same setting of a work song, we see that they also shun vices. And when they're encouraging hard work, they also shun vices. They talk about, for example, that one who does not work should not eat. And when someone learns that if they don't work, they'll not be eating, they'll put in more of the hard work. And as I recap my lesson, just as a reminder, I've discussed oral poetry alongside songs because they have features in common. The only difference they draw is the mode of performance, that while songs are sung, oral poems are recited. And then we go ahead and we also talked about the features of oral poetry as we finished with the different types of songs. That basically ends our session on oral literature. If you missed out on any episode of oral literature, you can always catch up on them. They can be found on Top Notch TV as on YouTube. Until next time, it is a goodbye.